everybody. Welcome to the Midnight Frightcast, episode number 12. Greg's already deaf. I can see it on his face. He's like, you are way too goddamn loud. And that means Greg is here today.
No, I was actually going to say something inappropriate, and then you started, and so you kind of caught me off guard.
Oh, you should have said, just say the inappropriate thing now.
Likes balls.
Oh. I'm so glad we all got that out now. I'm your host, Josh. I'm here with Greg.
What's up?
Tom's across the table.
Here I am.
And, of course, we have ball-like Patrick over here.
Sorry, Patrick, I love you.
Me like the balls.
Well, welcome back. This is we said episode 12. And the group's back. We have a group again, as opposed to the last time where we had just the two of us attempting to talk. Now we have 4 people that will attempt to speak their minds. So, welcome back. How's it been going, guys?
Good.
Nice little break away from the podcast. Ready to get back into it?
I don't know that I'd call it nice because I like doing this.
Yeah,
so
me too.
Not doing it is like,
Sucks
I want
ass.
to do it.
Yeah, I like to get together and chatterbox. We're gonna do right out of the gate. Should we just do what we've been watching? Should we start there, or do we want to talk about what we've been doing for 4 weeks?
Yes.
Let's do that.
Yes.
Does Greg want to start?
No.
Okay. Well,
I can, though.
Yeah, go.
So what would we decide? What have we been watching and what have we been doing?
Yeah, let's just go with that. That sounds great.
Well, as far as what I've been watching, I didn't pull it up on Netflix, which is not good, but I have been watching NCIS, going through on Netflix, catching up on seasons there. I've gotten to the point of where all the seasons that they have on Netflix have been watched. So I moved on to a show that I've been very intrigued about. I've been hearing a lot of, I don't know if I want to call it controversy, but a lot of talk about it. 13 Reasons Why.
Oh yeah.
I've been interested in it only because I can relate very closely to some of the characters in there. When I was in high school, it was when I was in college, but one of my friends from high school had actually committed suicide. And so I felt very intrigued by the story that was going to be told, just to see if it panned out as far as like the connection between how people felt after said person had killed themselves and all that. And so far it's been pretty spot on. Couple rough episodes just of my own personal empathizing and all that.
Yeah.
But otherwise it's been a great show so far. Watched what have I watched? Shoot, now I gotta think.
You usually make a list. You're letting me down, Greg.
I know.
Usually go with
I've
like
been out of
a
this
list
for
20
how many
things
weeks
long,
now,
yeah.
and I'm completely like out of it. So, I watched. Oh, you know what I did watch? I watched the movie Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Okay, I've seen this.
You seen that?
No, I haven't watched it. I've been wanting to.
I've seen it.
It's really, really good.
It's not a comedy, right?
No, I was actually
No.
surprised by that because it's starring Tina Fey,
Fey.
which automatically screams, "Hey, this is going to be a comedy."
Did she write it? I'm just curious.
I don't
That
think
I
she's
don't
a
know.
I
producer
do
on
not
it.
think she did.
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
That's okay. I wanted to watch it because I love Tina Fey.
I do too.
Like,
I do too.
as far as comedy gold goes, Tina Fey is right up there with Amy Poehler and just the funniest ladies ever. But yeah, this was more of a drama with some comedic aspects to it. But I wanted to see it for that reason, because the one thing that scares me about comedy, and this is kind of where Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler fall into the trap, is, are they a one-trick pony? Do they only have one thing that they can really call that they're good at? And I wanted to hope and pray that Tina Fey wasn't one of those, and she is not. She's actually really good all around. So I was very impressed by that. I rewatched Superbad. I watched, I'm kicking myself for this. I watched Zoolander 2.
Oh no!
Because I'm an idiot.
I haven't even seen Zoolander. It scared me.
Really?
No.
Zoolander's hysterical.
Oh, okay.
This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I needed something stupid to watch, and
You found it.
I found it. I got what I was looking for. So that's been about everything that I've been kind of consuming up to this point. Yeah.
Let's go back to Adam Sandler really quick.
Let's.
So, what was it, Cannes this week? He was in a movie. I'm trying to think of who else is in it. Give me 1 second.
Is that the one with Dustin Hoffman? And
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking at it now. It's Dustin Hoffman. Yeah. Dustin Hoffman's in also the Meyerowitz story.
Oh, yeah.
He front runner. Adam Sandler for Oscar nomination this year. For next year, I mean.
Really?
For this film. Yeah. Front runner.
Okay.
That's all
Interesting.
they're talking about right now is how good he
What's
was.
it called?
The Meyerowitz story.
I heard of it. Because he's got the most Razzies, I believe, too.
I think it was.
He's up there if he doesn't.
Yeah, I think it was on a con this week that played and getting huge review, like rave reviews. And I read the article and I was like, Adam Sandler might be nominated for an Oscar this year. That's crazy. As much dog poop as he makes.
Yeah, what does it say there?
Could you imagine him standing up there right now?
It is the Meyerowitz Stories New and Selected is the name of it. An estranged family gathers together in New York for an event celebrating the artistic work of their father.
Not on
And
Rotten
just-
Tomatoes yet?
No, because it's at the festival,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
until
yeah,
it's
yeah.
released.
Yet.
Yeah, but I just wanted to drop that little bit of science on Greg because I know his take on Adam Sandler.
But see, Adam Sandler doesn't hold the same stigma as Will Ferrell does. I mean, we've proven for both actors that they can act
Yeah.
outside of their wheelhouse.
That's what's
They just
frustrating about
choose
watching
not to for some reason. They choose
Yeah.
to make garbage.
Well, and that's one of the things. He had that new movie on Netflix,
He's got
Sandy Wexler.
Sandy
like-
Wexler.
Yeah.
And
He's got like an 8-picture deal with them.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And
insane.
they're all horrible.
The movie itself, the plot, the dialogue, everything else actually would have worked if he didn't do the stupid voice character thing. If he just would have taken the character seriously,
Yeah.
it would have been a decent flick. To sit through 2 hours and 10 minutes of him going crap,
Last 2 minutes and
I
10
just wanted to
seconds.
poke my eyes out with my thumbs.
I won't watch bad movies.
but
I
but
just won't do it.
I agree that there's something to Adam Sandler that if he wanted to, he could be damn fucking
Yeah.
good.
He
Oh,
can
yeah.
act.
He's
good.
proven it.
So,
He has proven it.
what else was on your list, Greg? Or did you wrap it up? Is it Tom's
Oh no,
turn?
you switch over. So sorry. I am done.
I was also going to add Tina Fey did not write Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. She was not a writer. Robert Carlock, Kim Barker, based on the book The Taliban Shuffle.
Okay. Was she affiliated with like producing
Yeah, I
or
think she's
anything like that? She was
nothing
just
on that?
actor.
I don't think so, just actor.
Okay.
Crazy.
Well, good for her.
Cool, Tom. Tom, what do you got?
I'm delving into my weird stuff. So, Fargo season 3, digging it, love it. Ian McGregor plays 2 parts. He's fantastic. It's not as good as season 2, but it's Fargo. I love it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Twin Peaks: The Return.
yeah.
I have been waiting forever.
Did you watch it?
Yep,
As good as people say it is?
I love it, but I love Twin Peaks.
I don't have Showtime, and I
It's-
wish I did because
weird.
I love Twin Peaks.
Yeah, so I had to rewatch Twin Peaks because I quit like everybody else when you found out who killed Laura Palmer. I was like, I don't care anymore.
I've actually never seen Twin
Oh.
Peaks, so I don't
It's
know.
not for everybody's taste.
Yeah.
But I had to rewatch like the last 3 episodes to get myself caught up, and this one it's even weirder than the series, but it's very well acted, and he's impeccable at the way he shoots. I mean, he just comes up with the most just beautiful shots. He's just fantastic at it.
Now, is this a wrap up like on Twin Peaks? Because didn't that show go like unfinished kind
Yeah,
of?
no, it went with a big cliffhanger because they got
Cliffhanger.
canceled.
They got canceled.
Yeah.
And so,
So
this
this-
is
But one of the great
beginning-
lines at the end of that though is I'll see you in 20 years,
Yeah.
and it's exactly
Or 25
20
years.
or 25 years, yeah, and
Wow.
it's exactly that
and it
amount of
wasn't
time.
that wasn't like meant to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And this takes place 25 years later.
Mm-hmm.
He's still in the weird Black Lodge. He's been there for 25 years, this prisoner. He's got a doppelganger. I don't think it's a big spoiler. There's kind of 2 doppelgangers that are out
Yeah.
in the world. And so he plays 3 parts in it. It's weird. Did you see it?
I have not.
You're not a fan of Twin Peaks, though, right?
I have not. I don't know anything about
okay.
Twin Peaks. So
It was a great series. I think we were in college when it came
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
and we were just fascinated with it. and
Loved
we were
it.
pissed when we missed an episode.
Yeah.
And us in college, that was probably like the Friends thing later on.
Yeah.
Everybody had to be watching that.
It's really kind of sad. If you've seen the series, you really get to love the characters. And it's sad watching the first couple episodes because 2 of them, Miguel Ferrer, one of them died.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, in the first couple. And so you watch them in the first couple of episodes, like, wow, that person's gone. And it's kind of cut short, too. You could tell Miguel Ferrer was going to have more to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You could tell. And so I'm curious how they're going to deal with that. But
Interesting. What else, Tom? Anything?
No, that's pretty much the TV I've been watching. I'm sure I've watched a million movies. I just can't think.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
Patrick?
Well, since you and I met last week, I really haven't seen a whole heck of a lot. Caught the last 3/4 of Triple X.
That's the new
The new
one?
one?
That's the new one. My wife went to Redbox, grabbed a bunch of stuff, and
Okay, cool.
And because she thought I was going to be gone all day yesterday, and I wasn't, so we ended up watching movies. So I caught 3/4 of that. I like the original Triple X movie. This one just they didn't give what's his face?
Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel enough screen time. They spread it.
Isn't he the...
He's
He is
the
Triple
main
X.
character, but
Yeah.
they just tried spreading around with a bunch of the other characters, and it just
Interesting.
wasn't
Oh.
as interesting. And movies like that, everything's so implausible. Yet this one went beyond that. That I just, I don't know. Things like that bug me now.
if
And
you
then
know going into it, though, does that help? If you know it's like, okay, I'm just going to
yeah,
suspend my
no, that
disbelief,
totally
it's-
does
okay,
help. Yeah,
okay.
but still, I'm sitting there caught going,
Yeah.
no, that plane would have crashed by now. Just goofy crap like that. And then, I've been catching up on The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix. Speaking of Tina Fey, because she's writer producer for that show, and I get a big kick out of it.
I tried to get into that, and I might need to go back and try again.
It's
'cause
bizarre.
The first couple episodes were just like weird.
Yeah, and it's weird all the way
But I mean, you
throughout. Yeah,
consider the talent that's in there. I mean, Ellie Kemper is
yeah,
and
yeah.
Jane Krakowski. Good lord.
So, been catching up on that because they just dropped season 3. I saw Bye Bye Man, which also meant bye bye 1.5 hours of my life.
Yep.
I mean, no, the first 5 minutes, like I was sharing with you guys on
Yeah.
Messenger, first 5 minutes was really great. That the way they set it up, just I
It's
thought.
interesting.
Have you seen it, Josh?
I fell asleep about halfway through.
Okay.
But I know what you're talking about.
But the first 5 minutes, I
Yeah.
thought it just was very intense.
It was interesting.
And it was like they were trying to set up the rest of the movie with that first 5 minutes, and I thought they set it up pretty well. It's just the writing was so bad.
Yeah, I will finish it and I will talk about it. I conked out because it was like that night. I was like on my third movie and that was it. And I was like, I'm
Done.
done.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And other than that, just trying to keep up on Gotham.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go back, Greg?
I hate to steal more mic time, but I remembered one of the bigger ones that I wanted to talk about. I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2
Up top.
twice.
Oh, man, I can't
Why
wait
are
to
you
see
high-fiving
it.
me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't wait to see it.
Well, it's 3 of us who've seen it. So
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I won't give spoilers. It's a great movie. I was very worried because it is a sequel to
Yeah.
a Marvel, and Marvel sequels have not traditionally held up very well.
It's-
everyone I've talked to said it's better.
I don't know that I give it that. The soundtrack is not as good as the first one. I
Oh,
thought.
yeah.
I disagree. Yeah.
You disagree?
Yeah.
Wait, what is it? All 80s again?
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
same genre, but I just
70s.
I thought the music from the first one was a lot better than the second one, and this one they kind of took a little bit more of the comedy out and input a lot more character development.
Yeah.
which was nice, but there's some spots where it gets pretty deep. So,
So, do they introduce Howard the Duck? I've got to know.
they don't introduce him.
he's in there,
He is in it because he's at the end of the first.
right?
Right.
He's in the second one.
Okay.
It's a cameo. It's
Yeah.
I
nothing.
hope
It's
so.
like for
It's nothing big. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I'm going to give a spoiler. I mean, they defend the galaxy.
Dang it.
Now you don't have
Do
to
they
see
defend
it.
it?
No, you
They
don't
guard
have to
know.
see it. Yeah. Well,
Well,
they
if
guarded
they
it.
defended it so well the first time, why did they need it?
That's what I'm wondering. Why did they have to do it again?
Ka-ching.
right. So that was it. What do you got, Josh?
Yeah. Right at the top of my list, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2. My brother was in town. My brother wanted to see Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm not a comic book, whatever fan, but I was like, I'll drag my ass out and I'll go see that movie. I wanted to see Alien Covenant. He shot me down. He was the guest. We went and saw what he wanted to go see. I liked it more than Volume 1.
Really?
Right out of the gate. Volume 1, though, for me, like, it was a lot of setup. And that's what I hate about these movies. Like,
Oh, sure.
they bore the shit out of me, and I'll fall asleep, and I have a hard time getting through them. I went to Volume 2, and I was like, right out of the gate, there's some action going on. Like, that movie starts, sorry, Tom, with action, and it just and it just goes. And I like the fact that it got deep. Like, I like the fact that we got to know some characters a little better. It dove into and Drax's character a lot more. I liked his backstory. I liked all that stuff. I thought the soundtrack was better. But for me, the soundtracks for those movies are the best part of those movies. That movie they could show black screen for 2 hours, and if they're playing that music the whole time, I'm in. Like, you'll take my $10. So I liked that. I dug Kurt Russell.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
His character in that was I like
He does really
that
well.
introduction.
Really well with it. Yeah.
I thought I had an argument the night before with not an argument, but like I was going back and forth with my brother-in-law about I was like Sly Stallone's in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He's like, no, he's not.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I'm telling you, he's in it. They introduced him somewhere, and so we went back and forth. And sure as shit, I was sitting next to him when we went and saw that movie, and it's like, I told you so. I told you he's in this movie, even if it's for like not very long. He's in the movie. So go ahead, Patrick.
About Sly Stallone and
Yeah.
when towards the, I'm not giving anything away by saying this, when he said it's good to have the group back together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what he was referring to?
He's setting up something. I don't recall what it was.
Not necessarily.
I don't. I'm just based on a little bit of information I had an
Right.
idea, but like
The current Guardians of the Galaxy were not the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
Which
And I'm not giving anything away because
No.
if you know the characters, you know what that was.
yeah. So for me, like I said, I liked it more than Volume 2 or more than Volume 1. So big ups to that movie because I would see that one again. So I watched that. I shouted out the group, but Greg is the only one that bid on it. I saw Southpaw a couple days ago with Jake Gyllenhaal and Forrest Whitaker's in it and 50 Cent's in it. It's legit. It's like really. I was going back and forth debating about buying that movie, and then I found it on Netflix, and I was like, oh well, I'll check it out for free because I'm not sure how good it's gonna be. I was surprised that Jake Gyllenhaal didn't get an Oscar nod for that movie. Like he was really, really good in that movie. It's the best non-horror movie I've seen in a really long time. It's really rough to watch. It's like sad. For me, it's like, and this might be, you tell me if I went too far, Greg, but to me, it's like today's Rocky. For me, that story is today's Rocky. I think it's not as good as Rocky, but it like
Comparable.
yeah, it's right there with it for me.
The only thing negative I've heard about it is that it's very formula. Like it,
Formulaic.
yeah,
It is.
It's like extreme. Like you can totally know where it's going.
Yeah, the way it
supposedly.
went at the end, I thought I was going to go a different way, but it did go formula. It did go, okay, well, I was really hoping it would go left, and it didn't. It stayed right there on the road.
So it didn't go Southpaw? Is what you're
No,
saying?
it did not go Southpaw. But it was really, really good.
Yeah, he's a great actor, I think.
So, and
Bubble Boy.
right after I got
Bubble Boy.
I didn't see Bubble Boy.
Oh, you need to.
right after I got done with that, I didn't watch this, but I really wanted to go back and watch. Did anybody see Nightcrawler?
No, I want to see it.
I did.
Yes, is that where he's the reporter
Yeah.
or the photographer? I think.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
good.
It's super good,
it's been a
but I
long
couldn't
time since I've
find
seen
it,
that.
so I didn't watch that. But he's really great in Nightcrawler too. If anybody hasn't seen that,
Isn't he like trying to like find like dead like car
he's-
crashes?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
things
yeah,
like that or
yeah.
something?
He like
It's-
is he's like a news chaser basically.
Okay.
He but yeah, it's that's really good. Since my brother was in town, I watched Halloween 5 because that's something we used to watch all the time. I'm not gonna go too far into it, but that movie does not hold up at all.
That was the sequel to the one with his niece, right?
Yeah, it's got Jamie in it. So his niece Jamie's in it. Yeah,
one where
Daniel
she's
Harris.
a
Daniel
mute.
Harris is in it. Yeah. So we watched that. It's he's not scary. Like Michael Myers is not scary after you get past Halloween, like the
Yeah.
original Halloween. He's just not scary. And I wanted to talk about this really quick because I know at least Tom might have a take on this. So Danny McBride is writing the new Halloween for 2017. And he made a comment about, I want to make Michael Myers scary again. John Carpenter's coming on as a producer on it again. And they're revamping Michael Myers, but it's not a sequel and it's not a reboot. I think it's coming off of Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween 2. And they're completely ignoring Halloween 3. It's a weird thing they're doing, but he said he wanted to make Michael Myers scary again. And for me, like, have you watched Rob Zombie's Halloweens yet?
No.
Okay, that's okay.
Sorry.
But you've seen them, and Greg's seen them. For me, that's the scariest Michael Myers has ever been. Like, that's as brutal as he's ever been in any of those movies. So I don't know how Danny McBride is going to make him scarier than...
Is he making a differentiation between what would be more thriller style as opposed to slasher style?
I think he's going back to where the Michael Myers that was just very, like, slow stalker Michael Myers, as opposed to Rob Zombie's, where he was just brutal.
Right.
He moved a little faster. There was no stalking to his Michael Myers at all. It was like, I caught you, and now here we go.
And that's kind of what I was gonna make a comment on that before Patrick had said anything. Is there's a fine line between scary and gross, and I use gross lightly, but more like gruesome. Where Rob Zombie's Halloween was like bloody, gory, slashing, not really scary. It was just like, okay, what's the next one? Oh, there's guts, and oh, sliced head off, and oh, this, that, and the other thing, blood everywhere. Whereas you go back to the John Carpenter's Halloween, and it's almost a pot boiler, to a certain extent, a pot boiling slasher, where he's slowly becoming more and more apparent, instead of just kind of hanging behind a tree or standing behind a bush scaring off a kid or something like that.
Yeah, because there's a big difference between watching a movie, getting to the end of it, and saying, "Oh yeah, that was really disgusting, that was gross," or getting done with the movie and walking home and always having to look over your shoulder.
Exactly.
I got you.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fair.
So I'm wondering, maybe that's what he's thinking is, nothing against what Rob Zombie had done, but just thinking
just different.
Yeah.
I'll be really curious to see what he does, especially with John Carpenter hanging out over his shoulder for the new Halloween movie.
Pressure.
I got two more, and I'll leave it alone. I got two more, and then I have a topic I want to talk to you guys about real quick. I watched a movie really quick on Netflix called Dig Two Graves. Anybody know it? Anybody seen it? Check out Dig Two Graves on Netflix. There's no names in it that I know. It's two sheriffs. It's like 1947. Two sheriffs have a little run-in with a group of gypsies, and something bad happens. And so many years later, the sheriffs are much older, and they have kids and grandkids, and they have this same run-in with the children of the gypsies from back when. And it's not really scary. There's nothing really scary to it. And if I would have known it was going to be booked as a revenge film, I probably wouldn't have watched it. But it was a really good revenge film.
Okay.
So if you're into that kind of thing, Dig Two Graves is super good. It does do a lot of flashing back and forth between the sheriffs being young and sheriffs being in present day. But that didn't bug me too much at all. It's more atmospheric than scary, but it's super good. So if you get a chance, and it's a really easy, quick watch too. I think it's like an hour and 24 minutes or something like that. It's not very long at all. So Dig Two Graves, I definitely recommend. And then I ended my night last night because I'd watched a bunch of stuff that was just like more serious and dark in tone. I wanted to watch something kind of funny and campy. So I found a film on Netflix called Zombievers. If you have you seen it?
I have wanted to watch that.
I actually have it on my list. It's in my queue.
Campy and awful, but it's a fun watch. And it's just ridiculous, but it's a horror film and it's gory. But it's called Zombievers, and it's zombie beavers and kids that go camping in a cabin on a lake that has zombie beavers that attack them. So if you and it's all practical effects, no CGI. So all the beavers were.
Did they harm the beavers?
There was no beavers. There were no beavers.
No beavers were harmed in the movie.
Technically harmed in this movie, but it's animatronics. The beavers are animatronic. So no CGI. So I did like that. But yeah, if you need a movie to watch that you could just like. I don't have to like really pay attention, and I don't have to even care. Zombievers on Netflix. You should check it out. That's the last movie I have. I did want to bring up a topic really quick before we get into Get Out. I don't know how much time we have,
We're at 25 right now.
but I'll try to smoke through this really fast. Okay, so I know you're a fan, and I know you're a fan, and I don't know Tom's take on this. I've only seen the first one, so they made the last Resident Evil film just last year, right?
Sure
I
did.
think they made 5 or 6 of them. Okay, so announced already that movie just came out on Blu-ray like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. They're rebooting Resident Evil. They're making 6 new films with. Did you guys already know this?
No, I did not.
They're rebooting Resident Evil with a whole new cast. No Mila Jovovich or whatever. James Wan is producing on it, and they're already setting up 6 new Resident Evil films, completely separate from the 6 that just came out. So
I'm not
that's
sure
the
the
topic.
series.
Let's discuss.
I'm not sure the series could be a series without Mila Jovovich. She was the one who originated the character. She's hot as hell. She created that series. Now, having said that, after Resident Evil 2, I don't think any of the movies were really worth it.
Okay.
So we're talking, 2 of the 6 movies were worth it. Maybe it is worth looking at doing a reboot of it and seeing what someone else can do with it, especially someone like James Wan.
Yeah.
But then again, gets into that territory of do we really need to reboot it, or can we just let sleeping dogs lie?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and if they're gonna reboot it, and for you, after the second one, the other 4 weren't really worth making. Why not reboot it after the second one? You know what I mean? Like, why make 4 more if you're already kind of thinking the
Right.
wheels are turning on? Because Resident Evil, the first one came out. Does anybody know when?
Early 2000s.
Okay, so they've been working on those for 17 years now.
Something like that.
I know.
Yeah.
And so that's a long time to be working 6 movies out.
Are you pulling it up, Patrick?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you
So
know.
I mean, that's 17 years of they could have just rebooted it, but
2002.
Greg
Yeah.
is like hand raising. So let's talk, Greg.
I have questions.
We've got answers.
I have statements.
Okay.
I need to start with this. Resident Evil, the series Resident Evil, is one of my all-time favorite video games.
Yeah.
When I first heard that they were coming out with a Resident Evil movie, I about wet myself. I was so happy. And I saw it. I wasn't disappointed. I also wasn't into movies as much as I am right now. So I look back and I think, yeah, I probably should have been disappointed, because when you go and you see a movie based on a book, a video game, or whatever,
Yeah.
you want it to have some semblance of similarity between the two. Resident Evil was close, but not very. In fact, it was not really even close now that I look back at it, because
Okay.
the entire video game, the first Resident Evil, was based in a mansion.
Yeah.
The movie went that way.
Yeah.
And for those who are listening and not watching me, I'm pointing my hand very sharply to the right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I've seen that. I've seen Resident Evil 2, which they brought in a character which doesn't come in until the video game 3. So the movie series went their own way,
Okay.
which is fine. They're allowed to do that to a certain extent. My first question is, are they rebooting it because they want to bring it back closer to the content of the video game? Do you know this?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay, that's fine. That's kind of
I wish I did.
that's what I'm hoping, because that's what it seems like anybody who's rebooting anything is doing anymore. For take for example, they
Yeah.
want to go back closer to
The book, yeah, yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that that's what they're going to try and do, is try to keep it closer to the video game. My second question is, do you know what type of a rating they're going for?
I don't.
What was
Okay.
the first PG-13?
PG-13.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming they did that because they wanted to encapsulate. They wanted to encompass. They wanted to shoot for the group that is gaming.
Yeah.
Which at
Right.
that time I just graduated high school when that came out, so I was 18. You're not going to get many teens in that genre to go to a rated R movie without their parents. Or
Yeah,
you're not going to let
right.
many parents
Yeah.
allow their teens to go to that. So I'm assuming that they did that because they wanted to capture as big of an audience as they possibly could. Again, that's fine. That was their choice. 2.1 question. James Wan was. Remind me what else he's done.
So he did the Conjuring movies.
Conjuring, okay.
He did Saw.
Annabelle.
Saw. That's
Saw.
what it was. Okay, so he's deep into horror.
Yeah, but he's slowly veering out because he's been offered some outside of that genre of films that I know he's chasing, and but yes, he's very much in the horror genre.
But he's done good horror, which is
Yes.
very happy for me to hear because it might be a slight return to the horror genre. Whereas the Resident Evil movies were more action with horror aspects.
Yeah,
There were some horrific scenes. Like one of the best death scenes I've ever seen was the military people in that tunnel, the laser tunnel.
yeah, I've seen Resident Evil maybe when it first came out, so I haven't seen one since
Okay.
those came out.
That was probably one of the coolest death scenes ever. And they set it up really, really nicely as a horror film, but they went completely action with it.
Yeah,
Again, their call. That's fine. Whatever. I would love to see a horror Resident Evil movie where you are playing it just like, let me rephrase, where it plays just like the game.
yeah,
Not necessarily the one camera setup, but more of the I'm sitting on my seat. I swear to God, there's something that's going to jump out at me instead of what they had in the movies
Okay.
of we see all the zombies. We see that they're hungry. They're eating brains and flesh and blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
But there's nothing that really pops out and scares the ever living crap out of you.
yeah. I
so
gotcha.
I'm okay with the reboot if they go a little closer to what the games were.
Cool. I just wanted to anything, Tom.
Haven't seen them.
Okay, yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy. Because
I've played the games,
Yeah.
but I haven't.
Yeah, we've got every DVD except for this last one, and it's one of those things where I've got the rest of them. Do I buy it?
Yeah.
But the movie just didn't.
yeah.
So Rachel and I were like, I don't think we have to buy it just to fill out the collection. Will we ever watch it again? Probably not.
So let's get to, if we have nothing else to chat about what we watched, let's get to our topic of the week. So this week, 3 movies were released on Blu-ray that you can go out into your local electronics store, I guess, or Walmart or whatever it is, and pick up if you want to. But there's a movie called XX that just came out. It was really big on the festival scene. I picked that up, and I have not watched it yet, but that came out. Logan came out on Blu-ray this
I
week.
just saw that.
It does
Great
have the
movie. It is a
noir
great
version
movie.
on it.
That would be
So,
interesting to check out.
Really?
You can watch the noir version of Logan if you pick up the 3-disc Blu-ray. It was like $20. So yeah, Logan, which again, for someone who's not a comic book fan, I loved Logan. I'll be really curious to see that movie in black and white. And our movie for the night that we're going to talk about just came out this week, and we are talking about Get Out. So, Get Out.
I'm out.
All right. So, Get Out. Now that Chris and his girlfriend Rose have reached the meet the parents milestone of dating, she invites him for a weekend getaway upstate with Missy and Dean. At first, Chris reads the family overly accommodating behavior as nervous attempts to deal with their daughter's interracial relationship. But as the weekend progresses, a series of increasingly disturbing discoveries lead him to a truth that he could never have imagined. Let's see, Rotten Tomatoes, the critics give it 99%. The audience gives it 88%. On IMDb, 7.9 stars with a Metascore of 84.
Who thinks that's
Pretty good.
low? Or do you think that's right?
I think it's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
To me, it's probably the best movie I've seen all year.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I absolutely loved it.
So, Tom, you want to start then? You want to start?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I didn't really know much about it going into it, which I'm really happy I didn't. And I did see an interview with the director that when he was point blank asked who, I was telling Patrick this, who the monster is, he said it's racism. That's how he, the director and the guy who wrote it, defines the monster. So that's all I knew about going into it. I thought there's some pretty, you kind of, Stepford Wives, did that remind anybody? You know,
Yep.
see, so you're starting to think it's that. And I don't. Can we give stuff? We can't give stuff away. Right?
It's still too fresh,
Just
I
came
think,
out this
yeah.
week, so maybe we shouldn't spoil it. Too
Okay,
much.
so maybe I'll just leave it with that. You know something nefarious is going on throughout, and what I liked about it is we were talking earlier. This is the thriller type of a movie,
Yeah.
that ends up kind of as a slasher.
Yes, I got you there. Yep.
But it's someone was talking about the pot boiling. That's what this movie is.
Oh,
Yes,
definitely.
The
absolutely,
entire way
absolutely.
through, and you identify with this guy immediately, and so the acting was great. Is
Yeah.
it Bradley Whitford? Is that's his
that's
last
the
name, right?
dad. Yeah,
That's the father.
That's the father. Yep.
Yeah,
And
he
Catherine
is
Keener's in
great
it.
in it.
You know, for being
Yeah.
a character actor, he really did well in this one.
I love him. He was also in, what was that other horror movie that was great? Cabin in the Woods or whatever that he.
He was in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll just start with that. I thought the acting was terrific. I thought the story development was terrific. It's funny. There are definitely some funny moments.
I think it was a good blend where he pulled you into something extremely, extremely intense and then gave you that relief.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really good formula that he was working with.
Yeah, he's a good storyteller.
Greg.
I did enjoy this movie a lot. I felt it was very formulaic, which is okay. A little bit predictable, also okay,
Okay.
because it sucked me in immediately. I was able to call a lot of what was going to happen.
Okay.
Mostly it was right before it happened, so it wasn't like early on.
You saw it a mile away.
No, I didn't see it a mile away. I saw it about right before it hit me in the face.
Gotcha.
I did feel a lot of Stepford Wives
Yeah.
in this. I felt a lot of Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah. It's
And I
probably
know why
love it.
Josh loves this movie because I felt Tusk in this.
A little bit. Yeah.
A lot bit. I felt the Tusk in this.
Towards the end. Yeah.
Yep.
It without giving much away in that, like in Tusk, he's kind of in a situation where it doesn't look. It's getting worse and worse and worse.
A little bit,
Is
yeah.
that kind of what you mean?
Like, yeah, it's just like you get there, you sense that something about the situation is off. But we're going to keep going because we want to see how further this is going to progress.
Right.
And as soon as he hit the
Let's say the twist.
I don't want to say the twist. I want to the point where he's he's having the talk with Catherine Keener.
Yeah.
Catherine Keener, by the way,
Yeah.
fucking
It's
awesome.
fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I love Catherine
Yeah.
Keener. She plays an amazing evil
Yeah.
person.
She's great.
Did I just give something away?
No.
Okay,
no,
good.
no.
So, just kind of starting at the top here, I thought it was interesting. The very opening scene, they went with a Disney-esque soundtrack as the guy's getting choked out.
The music at the beginning of this movie is just like
Yeah.
I'm going to take that and segue into the soundtrack or lack thereof in this movie makes the movie.
Yeah, it works.
The silence in it is so uncomfortable
Yeah.
that when the music finally fires up, it's just like, oh my God, this is,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah. So they did really well with the soundtrack and the silence use. Let me see here. I've been taking classes for film up in Omaha. And one of my most recent classes was cinematography, where they were kind of teaching us to watch for symbolism in movies, which I am terrible at symbolism. I don't know if you guys catch on or anything like that. Horrible at following symbolism. I don't catch it until like I read an article later on and
Yeah.
then it makes sense. I caught one in this film.
Okay.
I was so excited about like wet myself.
Can you say or not?
Did you pause it and you were just like, yes?
No, I wrote it down. I wrote the note down because I thought something's going to come back to that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it did. When Chris is getting the first tour of the house, they walk past the door and the dad says, we had to seal this off because of black mold.
Yep. Gotcha.
I don't know if any of you guys catch.
I did not
Oh,
catch
I don't
that,
think I
but
caught
you
that.
know,
No?
yeah.
Okay. Let's have some fun here because I'm glad I caught this. Mold symbolizes transformation. Is this going to give stuff away? Because I bet I just did.
Patrick.
Just be careful.
Okay. I will try and be as careful as I can. Mold symbolizes transformation. So when that thing, God damn it, this is going to be tough.
Yeah, I don't know if you can go there.
Nope. Shit. I may have just given some stuff
But
away.
we can
No,
have this
no, I
conversation
don't think you have.
off.
Okay, we can have this offer. So
Yeah.
I caught symbolism. Hooray me, everybody. Cheers and applause. I am freaking awesome.
Up top.
High five. Predictable story, but still very enticing. Love the ending. I won't go any further than
Yeah.
that. I saw it going one way. It did not.
Yeah.
You know
I
there's
was
an
excited.
alternate ending. Have
I
you
did
seen
see
it?
the alternate
Okay.
ending, and the
I did not
alternate
watch
ending was the
that
way
yet.
that I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
We don't have the DVD
I
yet,
did
so I
too.
haven't seen the alternate
Okay.
ending.
The final song that they play
The end credits
is goddamn terrifying, which again falls into the soundtrack
What
of this.
song do they play?
I'll have to look
Can
it
we?
up.
We can't say
Yeah,
that
I
one?
don't.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
I mean, it doesn't give anything away. We'll look it up later, but
Okay.
just how it portrayed with the movie, and it just adds to the soundtrack of how everything went really well. I was very pleased by this movie. Bought it on a whim because Josh told me I wouldn't regret it, and he was correct. So a pop.
Oh, it was. I've had the time of my life. That was in there, actually.
That wasn't the last song,
Redbone, I think, is what it was.
probably.
Donald Glover wrote that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Interesting.
So that was all I had.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I walked out of this movie feeling really dirty and gross. Like I felt like I had to go home and like wash some grossness off. The movie's not scary. It's just like in the sense of being like a scary. It's not a scary movie, but you feel scared for him the whole movie. Again, you guys touched on a bunch of everything. The acting was great. I did not see any of it coming. I was really terrible at calling anything, but I didn't want to call it because I didn't want to be like, this is going to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and I just feel like a terrible person. So I sat there in the theater. I took my wife to it, and just feel really gross at the end of that. It's really uncomfortable. It's a really uncomfortable movie to watch. I sat there questioning things that I wasn't sure if they were real, like the scene with Catherine Keener in the office, and then
What happens
he
immediately?
shoots up and he wakes up, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, what did that happen?
Or was it a
did
dream?
Not happen?
Right.
Was it a dream? And then things at the end kind of start to happen, and you're like, okay, that really did happen. It's really hard to talk about this movie without giving anything away.
Right?
Really? Yeah.
Overall, for me, the movie was, Patrick said it's probably the best horror film. I put it right next to Split. I was a big fan of Split. I saw that in the movie theater a ton of times. Get Out's right there with it. I don't know anything coming out this year really that's going to be able to touch that movie as far as originality goes. I'm really curious to see as to where was it Jordan Peele?
Yeah.
Jordan Peele did this, yeah. Where he goes next, and what he brings to the table after this, because now he can do anything he wants to. You guys hit on basically everything, and I'm happy. I was happy to sit here and listen to it because it's a great movie. So
You guys all talked about the character actors, but the lead actor, and I'm not sure on how to pronounce his last name, Daniel Kaluuya, I guess.
yeah,
Danny Kaye.
Yeah. I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah.
he was
Absolutely outstanding. You
No.
know, when we talked about Split, the main character in that one, how he made the movie. This gentleman made this movie as well. I don't know if it would have been as good if we didn't have those great supporting actors with Catherine Keener
Yeah.
and Bradley Whitford, but there was another actor in there whom I just think is an incredible character actor, going from drama to
Yeah,
comedy to
yeah.
Stephen Root.
yeah,
Yeah,
Forgot who's in that,
yeah, right. He does dodgeball and then
He does dodgeball and then something like this, and
he's dark too in this movie.
yeah.
and there's a woman that has only about 2 minutes of screen time.
The
that
maid.
I thought was the best thing. That was frightening.
Watching her transformation.
Oh yeah.
That was terrifying to me.
Yeah. Just, I mean, how many emotions can she show in the matter of 30 seconds?
Right.
It was
And the camera just
insane.
stays on her.
Stays
It's
right
like-
on her. No, I completely agree with that. Is that Betty Gabriel?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I
she
will
was
throw in the fact that I'm glad that I threw scenes in, like the TSA
Yeah.
conversation and the
Yeah.
police officer,
Yeah.
because they needed the break.
They needed
that
the
up
break, yeah.
a little bit.
And it was kind of a fun scene too.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it was
Yeah.
great. It was a great scene.
Yeah.
It was the only scene I was like, oh, I can breathe
Yeah.
for a second.
And with Jordan Peele having written and directed this, to me that just kind of took me aback, because I'd only seen the comedy stuff that he does, and to see him be able to do this, step up and just totally hit a home run on this. I mean, good for him. So
He's talented. He's a talented individual.
yeah,
is,
definitely,
This proves that he's not a one-trick pony.
exactly. So
Tremendous amount of pressure for the next
oh,
one.
Right?
definitely, definitely.
Now, it also begs the question: how many comedy writers are going to come over to this genre and take their crack at horror? Because Jordan Peele just did it. Danny McBride's doing it now.
Yeah.
Like, who in the comedy world is next?
Let
Who's
'em.
coming?
Let him. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw what Robin Williams was able to do in some
Yeah.
of the. He was able
Yeah.
to step over pretty easily.
So,
So I think you do exactly opposite of what you're normally able to do. And
yeah,
if you look at it, comedy and horror are not too far off. You're talking just light versus dark, essentially.
Yeah.
So
Well, I've always felt that comedy is much more difficult to do than drama. And I think that's why it's a little bit easier for people who excel at comedy to step over and do drama. Just a thought.
no, I agree. I agree with that.
so let's go around the table and give our own stars for Get Out. Greg,
Out of how many?
10,
8.
8.
I give it an 8.
Tom,
I'd give it a 9.
Solid 9.
yeah, I'm right there at that 9 number. But I could be a dick and just say 8.5. So we all pretty much agree that Get Out was, yeah, definitely go out and get
Out?
Yeah,
Go out and get out.
I couldn't put that together at all.
Get out.
So, and now it's
Go
coming
out
to
and
the
get
time where
out.
like I can't even talk. So, should we do
Kind of like
plugs?
the last time we.
Yeah, no, right? Let's do plugs. Greg?
I guess I'm probably one of the only ones. If you're looking for some other movie reviews, check out gregthemovieguy.blogspot.com. Trying to stay caught up and getting some fresh movies out there. We've got the Hollywood blockbuster season is upon us. I've already got my review up for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Great movie. I've seen it twice. And I highly recommend, if you love Guardians of the Galaxy, go out and check this one out. You won't be disappointed. Got some other great movies on there, ones that have been released. I've got just put up Superbad and Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, a couple other great movies you should check out if you haven't. And if you haven't, get out from under the rock you are living under. Again, that is gregthemovieguy.blogspot.com.
Tom? Anything? Nothing to plug? All right. Patrick?
Prairie Lights Film Festival.
Ooh, we can start
Because,
that.
because we are all involved with it in multiple ways. October 20th, 21st, and 22nd in Grand Island, Nebraska. I believe it's at the Grand Theater. Is that right? Nebraska films by Nebraska filmmakers. Awesome stuff.
It's a great
Or filmed
lineup
in
already.
Nebraska.
What's that?
Films by Nebraskans, filmed in Nebraska.
Not necessarily filmed in Nebraska.
Well, they can be.
They can be.
It has to be affiliated with Nebraska somehow.
Right.
Yeah. They already have a really great lineup going. This is
Flat-
Matt's last year, so I'm sure he'll do some big hurrah with it. And then they're going to get their new showrunner next year with Mark.
He'll be
coming in
good.
and doing it.
He'll be good.
So yeah, Prairie Lights Film Festival is my favorite time of year, and it's again, it's on the cheap. It's super cheap, $10 for the whole weekend. Gets you a ton of movies, the free popcorn and soda vouchers. They have after parties.
If you can stay awake for
Yeah,
that.
discounts. I mean, it's a great
can be-
weekend,
it can
and
be
it's a
pretty late.
super cheap weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a film lover, go out and check that out. It's a fantastic time. So. I heard it. Somebody's hungry. So
Someone's hungry, yes.
let's wrap it up. Check us out on midnightfrightfilms.com. We got a ton of stuff up there. Links to our YouTube page and the shorts that are up on that. You can check us out on Midnight Frights on the Facebook. Check us out on the Midnight Frightcast. And we are on the Insta of Gramming now, and are we all looking at pornography? I cannot see this side of the computer, and
No,
everybody's
I-
just like eyeballing the shit out of it.
No, I'm looking at the Prairie Lights Film Festival website, and I'm seeing Keister posted his world premiere of Return of the Robo Mummy from Outer Space Part 7.
He's got a good cast for that too, so I'll be curious to see how that goes. So, yeah,
All right.
it's gonna be fun.
It'll be good. It's a good time.
Prairie Lights Film Festival, Midnight Fright Films, Midnight Fright Cast. Anything else? Okay, let's call it a day. From Midnight Fright Cast, I'm Josh, Greg, and Tom, and Patrick, and we're done.
All right, see you
Later.
later.